sorry I'm congested. I have a cold, of course. Sleeping all up under the fan. Ooh. Whew, almost had a heart attack. It's a freaking fly in my house. It's weird we got flies right now. It's February. So this video is actually a requested video from one of my beautiful subscribers. A dilemma she's having that I honestly, sincerely, my whole heart goes out to you. I've gone through the whole interfaith marriage thing, and it's very difficult, and it really does put the biggest strain on your relationship if you or your significant other allow it. Her husband is still a part of the cult that she is no longer a part of, and it's been a year and there is no physical or emotional connection. She explains the situation as pretty much feeling like roommates. So first, with my experience, after 7 years, I left, and my husband, he did leave with me. We still had some major issues because even though he left the cult with me, his mentality was kind of still in the cult. So I went through my own separate stage and phases, and I had to go through my own growth process, and that meant not going to church at all. I learned a lot about myself, and I ended up becoming more true to myself. But the problem was then that my marriage was failing because now we became very interfaith. While I was believing in something that had absolutely nothing to do with Christianity, my husband was still a Christian, and he was still believing in everything that had to do with Christianity. It's not the same as just leaving a church to go to another church. You're expected to remain a part of that group. So there were a lot of problems with us. We got into a lot of fights. A lot of fights. A lot of fights. I cried so many times I could not even count. Your relationship could completely drown. Our beautiful subscriber who is dealing with this dilemma, I can, as always, only go off of my own experience and what has worked for me, and then within that I trust that you will learn and find your own path and see what's gonna work for you. So even though our situations were a tad bit different, it was very similar in a sense where I was dealing with feeling that loneliness and feeling totally disconnected from my spouse, because it was almost as if he was like at this level and I was down here and I just fell off, and now I need to make it back up there. And that is not the case at all. You may feel that way. You may feel like maybe at times your spouse might rub in your face the fact that you're no longer a part of this group, or you're no longer a part of religion. It can make you feel so low sometimes. But depending on where you are within your own personal journey of knowing yourself, depending on where your mentality is and where your self-esteem and your love really comes from, that may or may not affect you so much. When I left the cult, I had decided I was going to find a way. I didn't know how I was gonna find a way, but I was like, damn it, I'm gonna find a way. I did feel very lonely. I was very lost. I was very confused, and I was scared out my ass. But I made sure to keep the promise to myself that I would find a way. And so I started with just simple things, just doing things that I really love to do. I got right back into doing the things that I enjoy, things that I wasn't doing before. I talk about these things a lot on this channel. It's very important that you find something that you love, or get back to the thing that you once loved to do that you kind of stopped doing. Because right now you are going to go through a process of learning who you are. Use this empty time that you're not going to the church or to the cult you were a part of. Use this time to really get to know yourself and to see what it is that you want for you. And use this time to see what it is that really matters most to you. Now here's a warning. You may hear from your spouse that you're selfish. You may be told that you're being selfish. Everything is about you. You just want to do it your way. You don't want to be a part of the church anymore because you want to do your own thing. You want to be a part of Christianity anymore because you want to do your own thing. You're gonna hear it all. I definitely heard it all. You have to separate yourself at this point. Now, this is a difficult part because, of course, especially if you've been married through the traditional religious sense, you may feel like it's taboo to consider yourself a separate from your spouse. This part right here I'm about to say is all my own personal opinion. It's what I personally believe. But I do believe that even though we do become one, we don't really ever become one, because you're always going to be on your own journey. You're always going to be separate from your spouse. You have to understand that being selfish is sometimes something that you need to do because you need to find yourself, because being a part of religion and marrying in the tradition of religion, it makes you hide behind the other person. Not to say that that's always the case, but a lot of times we sacrifice so much, and you sacrifice yourself. And when you're a part of a cult, you learn how to sacrifice so much that you end up coming out miserable and unhappy. And if you're married, especially if you're a woman, then you're definitely going to feel the effects of this. So I would definitely say that learning who you are and learning how to get back to not necessarily the person that you once were, but maybe a more better version of you, a more enhanced version. I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally and spiritually enhanced. You want to work on your own heart, you want to work on your soul, you want to work on who you are. Now, I can't really tell you how to do that, because that is something that happens naturally. It's not something that you just wake up and say, okay, today I'm going to work on my heart, I'm going to work on my healing and all my trauma. That's not how it works. During this time that you're allowing yourself to have that quality time with yourself, that time where you can really get into who you are and get into yourself, you want to see yourself as separate, in a sense where now I'm on a whole nother journey. I'm still married to this person, I love this person very much, but I cannot allow them to keep me stagnant, and I can't allow their personal beliefs to put me down and shame me for my beliefs or for my disbeliefs. By me focusing so much on myself, even though I got called selfish like an insane amount of times, I was able to learn more how to stand up for myself and how to say, put my foot down and say no. Even though you're not happy with what I'm doing, even though you're not pleased with who I am right now, this is me, and I need to learn to work with this, because I cannot continue to be your shadow, and I can't continue to hide behind you all for the sake of religion. Now, when it comes to whether or not you should even remain in this relationship, as you're working on yourself and you're focusing on yourself, yes, these thoughts are gonna come to mind. Should I just end this? Oh, is this probably over? Am I dragging it out? I have so many years ahead of me that I could be enjoying. Am I gonna spend the next 10 to 20 years miserable with this person, all because of religion? This is something that you and your partner have to basically decide on your own. It's nothing that I can say. For me, what happened was, yes, we ended up staying together, but my husband also ended up leaving religion altogether. Not to say that it wasn't still difficult, and it's still not difficult, but that's literally a whole nother entirely different video. But I stopped focusing on him, and the minute that I stopped focusing on him and what he was upset about all the time, and the fact that our relationship sucked because of the differences in our beliefs, it allowed time, and it allowed everything that's been happening to just happen without me trying to always insert myself and trying to control everything that's happening. I let go, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do the best I can as a wife. I'm gonna continue to love him the best way I can. I'm gonna continue to do what I can, and whenever I'm wrong, I'll say, yes, I was wrong. And if I don't say I was wrong, then I'm wrong for not saying I'm wrong. But I'm gonna basically be an imperfect wife during this journey, work itself out in its own kind of way, while still remaining true to myself and working on myself. And don't get it wrong, I'm not saying to allow your spouse to disrespect you, because it goes beyond. If it gets to a point where it becomes physical or very controlling or possessive or just anything very toxic, then you're gonna handle it in a very different kind of way. But I had let go, and I made rules. I mean, I broke the rules many times, but I did make rules where we were not allowed to talk about anything that had to do with religious beliefs, because it always turned into a fight. And I'd either walk away emotional or pissed the hell off. So that may help you if you set a rule where we're not going to talk about this. But it also takes two people. So you should be sitting down and speaking to your spouse and letting your spouse know, I love you, but I also love me, and I'm not going to allow what you think or what you feel or believe to dictate my own personal thoughts, opinions, and views. You have to let them know. You have to be very honest, and sometimes being honest is so hard. It's so difficult. It could be hurtful, it could be painful, and it could be hard to face the truth. But honesty is, I would say, pretty much the best thing that you could do. I would know. Lastly, I would say that when it comes to connecting with your spouse on the physical and emotional level, you're married to one person for the rest of your life. You have to get physical. Like, you guys have got to get down and dirty, because if you don't, then that causes a lot of stress on both partners. So as long as you've tried all you could, you know, whether it's going out on little small dates, trying to have like a Netflix and chill type of night, or getting really cute and sexy. You know, sometimes we women, like, we kind of fall off a little bit. So you want to get a little cute and sexy, maybe some cute lingerie, or maybe nothing at all. Find a way to spice it up and to entice him. And if he's not taking the bait, then your relationship may have just reached the next level, which is not a good sign. Especially if you're not getting help, then you want to definitely look into getting some marriage counseling, as long as your spouse agrees to it. And if they don't agree to it, then that's more problems, which then you'll have to figure out what you really want to do at this point. Connecting on a spiritual, more intimate level, a level where it's like a deeper, just connecting it all, I'm sorry to say, but it's not gonna happen. And the reason why it's not gonna happen is because you are not aligned right now. And to be aligned means you both have to see each other on a certain kind of level, not be eye to eye on everything, but you have to at least meet. At this point, you guys aren't even on the same page in the book, so you are going to have to work on other things that you could work on in order to be able to connect on that level. The physical and spiritual connection, once that is lost, it doesn't mean that it can't ever come back, but it takes footwork from both partners. And that's why I really think marriage counseling is good. I didn't go to marriage counseling because things started to kind of look up a little bit after a while, but once my husband left religion, we kind of got more aligned and on the same level and the same page. And that was really what was the tipping point. That was what really made things change in our relationship for that time being. I hope that this video has helped. If you want me to get a little bit more deeper into certain parts of this video, because I kind of feel like everything was mushed together, I tried to organize it as much as I could, but it kind of is a lot if I go into it in depth. So if that's what you would like, then do let me know. Either send me a private message or let me know down in the description box below. If you have any other questions when it comes to interfaith marriage and dealing with that, let me know as well. And any other questions or video requests, then you can let me know in the description box, or you can send me an email or hit me up on social media, which is down below in the description box. Everything you need to know. I love you guys all so much. I really appreciate you being on the channel. If you did like the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you like this channel, make sure you subscribe. Love you all so much.